What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Friday Night Magic, brought to you by Top Deck Productions, operating out of GameSwap Mason, 20 miles north of Cincinnati.
Why did you do that again?
I just love that little fun
like
fact.
The little joke?
Dude, just so everybody knows.
It's also like 30 miles southwest of Oxford, Ohio. No,
also,
southeast.
yeah.
So,
probably a
big
couple hundred miles from New York City.
cooler cities.
I would imagine.
Do we know how far it is from Tokyo? We had that stat pulled up for us. Kind of spot
Probably,
pull that one up for us, please.
Probably a couple more hundred miles.
Kind of an important check for this.
So this matchup we have Jarod Willier, who's on Jeskai control. He's going to be playing against Ponza, which is a deck that we were referencing earlier that kind of got juiced up a little bit with the Bloodbraid Elf unbanning.
Jeskai control. The deck I was saying I think is the best deck in the format.
I believe Derek is playing Ponza from what I saw. And let me double check our little sheet here.
He shows the Cryptic Command. So now we know he has a Cryptic Command.
His deck is Cryptic Command. No other decks aside Jeskai have ever played a Cryptic Command, so we automatically know.
It's kind of funny. The one deck we actually knew for sure. He actually showed it to us. It was pleasant. All right.
Yeah,
so
I appreciated it. There's a little humor.
The gesture is what matters.
And it allows you to delve a little bit into the personality of the player, which is always fun, you know? Getting a little bit of those personal vibes.
He probably likes Cryptic Command. I assume that's probably why I showed the card.
Probably.
It's I like Cryptic Command.
It's a sweet card. It is a sweet card.
I don't like playing against Cryptic Command.
So now, I'm sure you've been on the side of the Jeskai control player against the Ponza deck. How do you feel? How do you feel about that matchup?
It kind of depends. Play draw is so important for this too, because okay, if Ponza's goal is to do a turn 2 Blood Moon / like land destruction effect, and that's a lot easier to do on the play because
it is.
Because there's like 2 many counter spells out of the Jeskai deck, and I think if you don't get that accomplished for the oh, he's playing Jund. I thought we were playing Ponza. Well, we'll figure it out. Well, so if you don't get that accomplished, then I think you're disadvantaged. I think that's an important turn. I think turn 1 turn.
Ponza.
I think turn 2 matters the most.
Definitely Ponza, and I'm pretty sure I saw a Bloodbraid Elf.
I don't think you're that disadvantaged, but I think Ponza wins a little bit just because turn 2 Blood Moon / that is.
So it looks like Jarod is on the play.
Okay, yeah.
And I do think another noteworthy thing about this matchup is fetching basics. You have to know to do that because Blood Moon is a card that these decks play.
Plains,
and I know,
very important basic.
I know Jarod had a island in his hand. So I'm curious if he's just going to grab the other island or just kind of, he's doing this.
So my opponent plays Utopia Sprawl in their forest.
You know what's up.
I'm very much assuming a Blood Moon is in the future.
And I'm curious if Derek has any Blood Suns in his list this week. Do you think Blood Sun is a modern playable card?
It's probably modern playable. I don't know if it's good enough.
Is it a main deckable card?
I mean, it says draw cards. It can't be that bad. Like
you heard it here first.
Well, I mean, it has an effect as draw cards. So you're not getting that much disadvantage by having a main deck.
Right.
That's probably worth experimenting with. I don't think it's really necessary in these decks. I think you'd rather have like another because they already have enough 3-mana land destruction spells. They can't play them all. They have Stone Rain and Molten Rain that they can't play. They're not playing 8 copies of that along with the 4 Blood Moons. I don't think you want another effect like Blood Sun on top of all those things. Yeah,
I mean the deck is very 3-drop dense. I believe he's got like Courser of Crew fixes in his deck. I think it looks like he's going to be casting.
Also, Oakley, we do read all the comments, but sometimes we're in the middle of a conversation and we try to get back to him, but it is tough, you know. It's hard to balance conversation.
Subpar knowledge of the meta. I'm going to call you on that. Well, I would argue that I do have.
You said subbar, so I don't know what that means. Personally, if bar, I'm not sure what sub-bar is in this context. I'm going to assume it's like a submarine kind of thing, so I'm just going to ignore that. Maybe you can extrapolate on that. Not a big deal. You know, assume the better people.
But if you want to defend your criticism, go for it. I'd love to hear it.
Oh my God, Victor.
But it looks like our boy Derek, unfortunately, is missing his land drop. Seen another Molten Rain on top, and now
he got the turn 2 land destruction we were just talking about.
Yeah, he did have that.
That is important.
Which is pretty good against control players.
Really good.
Pretty good against control players, and Jarod is really not getting a lot of basics, which I think it's reasonable to assume that Derek does not have a Blood Moon at this point in time because I think he would have just slammed it the prior turn. So Jarod is just basically saying, I hope you don't top deck that.
Yeah, man,
because
we gotta do a lot. It sucks.
Yeah, which feels really bad. It feels right, but he does have 2 islands in his hand, so he's actually not stone colded by a little blood moon.
Isn't the Dutch Open the one Jeskai won? Is that the thing? I don't follow as much as you do.
What are my thoughts of the?
I don't also
Dutch
we don't need to
Open
defend
results?
ourselves in this thing. This is kind of a silly thing to do.
I
Victor
want to
falls
do
away right
battle,
now.
my dude. I'm ready to do battle.
Why do you have to care about these random internet trolls? This is why. Okay, for anyone
and
watching,
he's just drawing all the basics.
yeah,
by
he's
the
got
way,
air
I might
base on
add.
top too.
But he ships it to the bottom, which I think may have been a little bit hasty.
Oh yeah, definitely. Would not
And
ship that
actually,
air base to the bottom.
kind of in that similar vein, I do see he has a Sacred Foundry in hand as well. I think I probably would have been inclined
The cast
just-
Sacred Foundry there,
just
instead
to
of island.
maybe no.
I would have done that.
The turn he fetched with the
Dude, he's got a Supreme Verdict in his hand.
well the turn he double bolted, he fetched with a Flooded Strand. So I think I would have just held on to that Flooded Strand until I was able to fetch for the basic planes. See what
Okay,
I'm
sure,
saying?
agreed. I also
So I
think you
probably
should have
would've
not
just-
played the island there.
Okay. Yes, I also agree with that.
I guess this way doesn't get.
And
this way,
a thing we were just referring to, the Bloodbraid Elf into a land destruction
It's pretty
spell
sweet.
is pretty dirty.
Dude, his hand is so good. Oh my god.
And another Molten Rain.
that was a hot turn.
That's a lot of Molten Rains.
How do you cast all that? Oh yeah, Arbor Elf. Yeah, I see.
And he's got a Stormbreath Dragon in hand, which these
And an
Jeskai
Inferno
decks,
Titan.
which these
This is
Jeskai
about as
decks.
good of a hand as it gets for the Ponza
Yeah,
player.
he's just got the perfect mix of threats, mana, as well as land destruction, and he's got the Blood Moon now as well. Not really gonna do a whole lot.
just cast
but
it for the walls. I would do it.
I mean,
I would do it.
it would basically shut off his
Oh,
hand.
he is doing it. There you go.
I mean, it shuts off his opponent's hand, and
I mean, his opponent's hand. Yeah, it's Springbird. He's dead on board anyways, though, so it doesn't really matter.
is he dead on board?
4 + 3 is 7. Or he's just not casting in the Stormbreath. That's fair too.
Well, the
We'll have it up.
Stormbreath he's no longer able to cast with if he chooses to cast.
Oh,
the
he
Blood
should have
Moon.
untapped the forest first if he was going to do that. No, he still works.
Okay.
No, he still had the mana for it. 1, 2, 4.
Oh,
5,
okay,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah, he did.
I think 7.
Okay, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, I guess not. Actually, I don't know why he cast a Blood Moon on, so that was just a weird line. I assume.
You never
I
know.
assume when he casted that the reason was because you could cast the Inferno Titan or the Stormbreath as well. But
Well, the casting of the Stormbreath Dragon will yield a concession. I think his hand was
Dude,
still a very
you gotta
much
cast
had
the
all
Inferno
these.
Titan. He's at 3 life. How cool is that? Like you just shoot
Yeah,
him with the Inferno
yeah.
Titan. That's way cooler than
Just
casting a Stormbreath Dragon.
Bang, you're done. And now they're going to the sideboards. I'm curious as to what Derek has in his board for this matchup. I gotta imagine he's got maybe something like Relic.
I
that he's
think I
bringing
just
in.
watched the Ponza deck today, so I kind of know what their board is like. I think he's got 2 relics on the board. don't get into the chat, please. Don't get into this. And with some other nonsense too. What else did he have? I think I saw some Blood Suns in the old board of the other Ponza list I was looking at. Some Monalvi Moss, Acid Moss. They might have 1 or 2 of those if he's not playing 4 in the main.
Okay. Yep.
That card's sweet, actually. I like that card.
I think that card is very, very powerful. Effectively, a rampant growth. For those that don't know, it is like a rampant growth attached to a destroy target land. Is it any land or just non-basics? I believe it's any land. I believe it's any land, which is pretty much everything these decks want to do. They want to kill lands, and they also want to play as many lands as they can.
Can I like I don't want. I don't want timeouts.
Okay,
I want to.
no, I
just don't want you to
no,
get into
no
it.
timeouts. We will not censor.
I just don't want you to get
censor
into
our
it. Is all.
forum.
I'm worried that I just know that you want to argue with this guy so bad.
I do a little bit. But you know what? I'm gonna take the high road here.
Victor is as very susceptible to the internet trolls of the world. I
I
am
would
too.
disagree. But I'm biased. I'm biased. I'm not super
I think a lot of
objective
people
when
are.
it comes to
I think
my
we're not
own
professional.
behavior.
We're not professionals in not being susceptible by it. How's that? Dude, poor Mattias Hunt. You should watch Star City stream. Imagine how much shit he gets on every time. Can you imagine being him and reading that?
There's also Rashad Miller who just got flamed so hard. Poor guy. Blink the pod.
Yeah, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's a Twitter account.
You have to have some big balls to be a commentator and go through all the hate. Yeah, I think Jeskai a freaking insane deck.
Thank you, Saints Walk the Earth. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
See, you know, I don't even need to get into it because I feel my actions speak loud enough so that all the people.
We were going to talk about Sideboard. We got sidetrailed by his comments.
Any other noteworthy?
You might have some walkers on the side. I mean, the Ponza Sideboard is really color dependent. Like usually they have like a fair amount of graveyard hate. They have some like more land destruction.
A lot of relics of Progenitus.
Yeah.
That card's quite popular in these type of lists.
They might have a Graph Digger's Cage.
I mean, because these decks don't really utilize their graveyard at all, so they're just basically, you know.
I don't know if I really like Relic. It's okay. The Tyler Tracker? Yeah, it's interesting.
Primal Command, apparently. You didn't see that?
Yeah, they have some Wrath of the Gods on the sideboard. Some anti-combo cards.
Now, I'm interested, from Jared's perspective. I mean, this is interesting because I don't think he ended up bringing in that Tireless Tracker. It didn't look like he was putting in his pile of cards. He was bringing it in. I'm not exactly sure. I got to imagine that card is pretty sick in this matchup. The bolts that Jared has are taxed already on the mana creatures because those need to be bolted. You can if you let this guy untap with a mana creature, something horrible is going to happen to you on the third turn.
I think it's better than the Watch. I don't think it's really that great. I think it's better than like Inferno Titan, which just gets Path or like countered late game.
Any deck that has access to Path is not upset about Inferno Titan, generally speaking.
And also the fact that you might never cast Inferno Titan because there's so many mana dorks that are going to get killed.
He doesn't even have like creatures or anything that he's worried about getting killed.
Yeah,
like,
so he might bring in. If I was a betting man, which I'm much so, I would definitely bet that he brings in Spell Quellers this matchup.
Does he have Spell Quellers?
I'm not sure, but if I'm playing a control deck, a blue-white deck, I'm playing Spell Quellers, and I would have them in this matchup.
I got to imagine.
It's pretty sweet. Spell Quelling and Blood Moon.
Okay, let's say he has a card like Is It Staticaster. Are you bringing something like that in this matchup?
No.
Because it's good against just like Bird and.
Maybe if you have enough bad stuff. I think you have enough like removal, like Snapple and stuff. You don't really need a Staticaster.
Because I mean, your removal is good in this matchup. Your main like, there's no cards that are really actively bad in your main deck against the Ponza deck.
Relic. I really don't think Relic's that great.
I think it's fine. I think it's very fine.
As it always is against like these blue decks, if you're not playing anything else with it.
I mean, and there are some percentage of the time where it just totally makes your hand just horrible.
That island in Jared's hand, like whenever you're playing blue sleeves and you're playing those like what are those new things called?
The unstable.
Unstable. I'm sorry, I don't play unstable sets very much. I should play more. That land literally looks like a sleeve. I keep seeing like a face down sleeve in it.
Okay, so apparently, according to MG Flory, he believes Derek brought an anger.
Does that look like a sleeve? That looks like a sleeve.
It does look just like a sleeve. Now, if he did bring an anger, I would very much question that.
A hard read on Spell Queller.
I mean, it's not even that great against Spell Queller.
You already have bolts.
But yeah, I hope he didn't. I hope he didn't do that. Does he have one in his hand? Maybe.
I assume he didn't, but
I think he actually does have one in his hand.
I saw what he was talking about. With,
I think he does have one in his hand.
In his hand?
Yeah. So
that's a good find, MG Fiore.
Okay.
Fiore.
Yeah, I do not agree with that.
Maybe we're on.
I could see him being scared of something like Geist.
Geist, that's true.
If I saw Geist, I would be more inclined to bring it in. I don't think I would just bring it in blind. Would you even bring it in if you saw Geist?
I would probably be more inclined to bring in a card like Obstinate Bailoff, which blocks Geist and also gains 4 against the burn plan. That kind of does double work. It's like a threat plus like you're not dying to such a fast clock. I would say Anger, probably not. Yeah,
that just seems far too narrow, and most of the time you have it in your hand, you feel dumb.
If I saw his deck was like kind of centered around Geist, maybe with like a lot of cantrips and more of a Geist plan than like a backup plan, and I saw the Geist, then I probably would bring it in.
Now, one thing I do kind of want to point out.
Free Bubble Elves in hand, dude. Like, that's so sick. I want to see free Bubble Elves in a row. Please don't kill this, bro.
Yeah, please don't kill this elf. But I got
We got to pray. Okay, it dies.
It does die, unfortunately. Sad.
I might have not even killed it there, honestly. I might have let that go. I would have thought about it anyways.
Now, one thing I was liking that Jared did, but is no longer doing it.
I forgot. Ponza could have run.
See, here's a little thing that I would have done a little bit differently this turn. He played the island from his hand this turn. I would have just played the Flooded Strand because having that island is always going to be good against Blood Moon in your hand. I just like hanging on to my basics in my hand until I need to play them, especially against Blood Moon decks.
Except that he definitely just has a mana leak in his hand. He's going to counter any Blood Moon with this turn.
I mean, he's getting to a point. If he would have played the Flooded Strand, he maybe wouldn't have even needed to use it. I know he's got Cryptics in his deck. I know he's got Cryptics in his deck. So, and he does have a Colonnade in play. So you probably do want to do it.
Yeah, you always like
And you can just it's good use of your mana also.
And
which
mana
is
leak
fair.
isn't super great, like super late game. I mean, I think it's pretty reasonable to
Pop in the relic. I'm surprised.
This might also desensitize the opponent from casting the Blood Moon.
See, if you were gonna pop the relic, I probably would have just done it while I had the ability to maybe have the untapped land.
He popped the Blood Moon. Well, he didn't want to pop it, but they needed a land drop, so that's why he did that, I think.
But so you would not have done that end step in hopes to draw a land. I think I would have with 3-4 drops in my hand. I think I would have just end step popped that. Because the thing is, it's not like amazing in the matchup. Like you just kind of want to use. I would be inclined to pop it just to get that card here. Because once you start doing this,
we got 3 of them, so. Dude, you know what is good though against Bloodbraid Elf? Snapcaster Mage. Not as good though.
And this is the one thing you were referencing being pretty bad. So let's
not
see
as much
how
of a
bad
2
it
for
is.
1.
Let's see how bad it is.
But he's got a lot of threats in hand. So the extra mana kind of does matter.
Yeah, I mean I believe Jarod is probably thinking about this a little bit.
So let's read Bloodbraid Elf's text. 3/2 haste. When it comes into play, target land you control, tap for 2 for the rest of the game.
This seems fine.
It's
not the best thing ever. No, but also sometimes it says 3/2 haste.
He's countering Utopia Sprawl.
Huh. I mean he is short on lands.
Kinda.
Oh yeah.
I would just countered the Bloodbraid Elf for sure.
Now what did he just draw for
I saw that card.
What was that card?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it was just a wacky negate.
Yeah, this is a negate. But you know what card that looked like?
Cons of Tarkir negate. My favorite negate. Do you know why? Because it looks so dumb. Look at the Cons of Tarkir negate. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, if the table spotter could maybe find specifically the Cons of Tarkir negate, it is. I have a foil of it just because I love how whack it looks.
We're gonna get a snap on the Blood Moon, I think.
I mean.
Yeah, you have less Lighthouse and stuff in play.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The Blood Moon's just an annoying card. Even when it's not annoying, it's still annoying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there she is.
Oh, boy. You know what card reminds me of? Twiddle. Return to Ravnica block. No, is it M11 Twiddle?
No idea. Look at this negate. Just look at this. Just like, and then if you could see the person's face in the background, also looking pretty dumb.
You can't see the person's face, dude. It's literally like a.
Oh, it's Dragons of Tarkir, by the way, not Cons.
It's so zoomed out, it just looks like a bunch of pixels. Even if you look at the card, you can't even tell what it is.
And just to talk back to what OMG Noob was saying, he said maybe using Anger vs. Geist. This is something we just kind of.
That's what he just drew. Big
girl
Elspeth.
Ooh, that's good here. You know what's good against that? Anger the Gods, kind of.
Kind of.
Not great value with the Bloodbraid currently in play, but you know.
Actually, not very good at all here. Like, hey, Anchor the Gods, battle tokens out. Up now, I guess I'll make some more tokens.
Yeah, that's fair. Never mind. Didn't really think through that.
Elspeth is really good, dude.
Elspeth is. You do not need to convince me of Elspeth, Sun's Champion, being a good card. In these mid-range decks, typically
that's Flora, that's a great point. That's a flavor fail. That is definitely like a monk or something that he's countering, and that's a creature. That should not be a counter spell.
Yeah, that's pretty fricked.
That poor guy, you know, maybe he's like pretending to get countered. He doesn't realize that it's actually
all these Blood Moons. They just keep coming.
It's not as important anymore.
Yeah, now I think Jarod doesn't really
care. If he got that one of those out a while ago, so he couldn't cast the Elspeth.
I presume he's blocking with 2. Okay, yep.
I think he blocked all of them, actually. Or maybe, I guess there's 2.
I mean, he tapped out a red.
Yeah, you're right. Sure.
Maybe Jarod could have not tapped out a red.
Maybe he had this
triple block. Maybe. I think that's probably pretty bad against Jeskai post board, but
he also has the Anger
theoretically
God, so
it is possible.
I don't think we're done.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And just so everybody knows, kind of the conclusion we reached on the Anger versus Geist thought is there's typically better stuff that isn't so narrow that you can bring in against a Geist plan. Primarily this being just big creatures. Like, I mean Obstinate Baloth comes to mind.
You ramp into your guy. You play Arbor Elf, they play a Geist. And you're like, boom, Anger the Gods. Kill that Geist. And then you realize you're 2 for 1 yourself. You're shooting your mana. And your opponent still has all those cards in hand anyways. Yes. Not really what you're trying to be doing. Not your game plan.
And unless if you have it at the exact right turn, they can just counter it.
Yeah. Even if you do have it, it's just a 1 for 1. It's really not that. Yeah. You got to just deal with Geist through the old-fashioned way. You know.
Block. A lot of people forget You can just block that guy. That is an option. So
Or don't let them count.
Voldovi.
It's that card that we tried to pronounce last time.
Acid Moss. But I believe Jarod just kind of has this match locked up. He's got a lot of good stuff going on.
You know what would be really good right now, though? Can you think of a card? Come on, we just talked about it. Non-commentary. If anyone can think about the card I'm thinking of, that would be a miracle to have right now.
Bonfire of the Damned?
Bonfire of the Damned.
That would be quite good. I believe this deck does occasionally play some number of bonfires.
They go from 1 to 2, or 0 to 2.
And now Derek
Card
is
is sweet.
assuredly dead next turn from Elspeth's ultimate, which, for those of you that don't know, it gives all creatures you control +2/+2 and flying forever. He's also got a Colonnade sitting back there as well, so he's dead very soon.
He is in fact dead in approximately 1 turn. Give or take 0. Oh, just kidding. Path. Oh. The anger coming to play handy.
Ooh, ooh, spicy, but ooh, we got something cooking here.
That's a thing.
However, he's got the Supreme Verdict in hand, so he doesn't really care.
Yeah. He can't cast it though. There's a Blood Moon in play. The Supreme Verdict's not doing anything.
Oh wow, yeah, did not think about that. That's a tilt.
You know what's still doing things? Elspeth.
I'm
Dude,
dying over here.
None of his cards in hand do anything. Blood Moon's just a dumb card.
Blood Moon is a dumb card.
Like, it literally has all of his basics to get the situation right, and he still has 2 dead cards in his hand, and no activated man lands.
But it does not matter because he has a 6-mana Planeswalker in play.
So the best one, I would wager.
Probably the best Planeswalker in Modern if it resolves. Is that reasonable to say?
Ugin, dude.
Ugin? Okay, yep. I mean, sometimes Ugin's really bad, though, like against Affinity.
What about Nicole Bolas? The old one. Probably not. Elspeth's probably still better most of the time.
Probably Elspeth is better most of the time, I think, which is sad.
Dude, Inferno Titan is actually insane here. This is why he shouldn't have wasted his path.
Did he fire it off on the...
He's just
Blood
got
Raid?
an Inferno Titan. Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, that was probably a little bit loose. Now, all those tokens
This is
are going to
actually,
die.
dude, this is actually looking not good for Elspeth,
Yeah.
for the Jeskai player anymore.
So,
This is bad. I did not think this game was over.
yeah, I really thought Jarod had this locked up.
That's really funny. Wait, why didn't he just...
Yeah, wait.
Okay,
So,
whatever. I don't
so I think what I would have done
He-
there
he
is just killed the tokens.
I think he was worried about Elspeth ulting, but I mean, an Elspeth ult with no guys in play is really not very scary.
I mean, it does put him on a 2-turn clock, but he also has,
2-turn clock for what?
with the Colonnade. That
Dude, it's a Blood Moon in play.
I keep forgetting about this Blood Moon. Man, that card sucks.
There's literally no reason to do that. I guess unless he was like worried about like, in card, maybe.
I mean,
worried
maybe he pulled a me and thought that the Colonnade was a thing.
or maybe he also pulled a U and was worried about Secure the Waste.
Mm-hmm. That's a card. That's a card that...
I don't think it's
I
really
mean,
a card.
you didn't see... I mean, if you see search
Oh, he did
for
probably want.
Escanto,
That's true. Minus is a real thing. Minus would have been very good there. Yeah, we keep missing lines. Okay, sorry guys. Minus would have been the best
well,
line.
see,
in that spot.
that's why we got these guys
Dude, that-
backing us up.
That makes the token even worse. He was the Elspeth was like 5 counters, I think, right? You get a minus, held a token up, block the courser, and probably won this game.
Yeah, so actually, I totally forgot that minus was even an
Yeah,
aspect
that's
of
actually.
Elspeth.
I didn't really forget, but I
There's-
was kind of talking. This game.
I
okay,
didn't forget.
So,
I'm super smart.
I play Elspeth. I literally only play Elspeth. That's like a card I've played infinitely. Okay,
Yeah, that
back
is
up real
definitely-
quick. Let's go through what happened.
Okay, break it down.
Elspeth player. Probably was locked up. Inferno Titan, very good draw against that.
Mhm.
But Elspeth player was still ahead. Could have minus, killed the Inferno Titan, and still been on the board with an Elspeth in play. Not very many counters, no guys in play, but it still would have worked out against the Courser. Instead, what happened is we plussed, killed all the tokens, killed the Elspeth, kill you. Inferno Titan's
Yes.
good.
So, pretty critical misstep there. Led in an untimely demise in a game that I thought actually he could not lose because he resolved a 6-mana mythic
Yeah. That was
from
some
Theros
weird lines.
block, known as the Sun's Champion,
This kind
Elspeth.
of draw player drew pretty horrible, too. That
He
spot.
did draw quite
But
bad.
Blood Moon made it a lot worse.
He had... Did he have 2 basics in play? One of them got destroyed, right?
Yeah. They
So-
three basically played. 2 got destroyed, I think, over the course of the situation.
Poor guy. Poor guy. You hate to see it.
That was interesting.